wanna live in a world full of heroes, not sit here counting zeros in a cubicle downtown.
Hello Nerdophiliacs, this is Mikey D and this is episode 6 of the Nerdophiliac. And today I got a lot of things to talk about, but one thing that I'm going to tell you that a little bit of a change is I'm not going to be doing a nerd rage this episode. Instead, I'm going to exchange it with a different kind of segment called Nerdology 101, where I talk about something and give you like insight into some aspect of nerd culture and nerdisms that I think you guys might like, and also it's on top of a current obsession of mine. So we'll talk about that when we get to it. Okay, so first we're going to do some nerd news, and then I'm going to do a comic book review on Age of Ultron number 10. Okay, so nerd news, we got some interesting things about The Amazing Spider-Man 2 that I'm sure that you guys have known if you're prowling the interwebs looking for all different kinds of rumors and stuff. You know how things get blown out of proportion. But one thing that I have done my research and I found some things about is that there is no MJ in Amazing Spider-Man 2. Now, I originally thought that the actress playing MJ, Shailene Woodley, I have never heard of her. Until then, I know she's done a bunch of other stuff, but I wasn't a fan of the show she was on. So, but yeah, that actress, the rumors were that she was not going to be part of Amazing Spider-Man at all, any of the movies. That is not true. She is going to be MJ. She is MJ. All of MJ's scenes with her are done filming. She is just not going to be in The Amazing Spider-Man 2 because the rumor is, and it's been pretty solid, is that Gwen Stacy is going to, in fact, die in The Amazing Spider-Man 2. And I think the director, Mark Webb, wanted to give Peter Parker some more time to grieve before he brings in the second love interest, which is smart because I don't think things like that should be rushed. So she is MJ, it is done, she is MJ, but she is going to be in The Amazing Spider-Man 3, which comes out in 2016. And then on top of that, Sony also announced that there was going to be an Amazing Spider-Man 3 and 4. So 4 Spidey movies, I'm stoked. So that's that. She is still MJ, but Amazing Spider-Man 2 is going to be mostly just Peter and Gwen Stacy as, you know, like the romantic interest. So that's that. Okay, moving on. Next thing that is kind of cool is Universal Studios has announced through a ominous poster that they revealed at Universal Studios for Jurassic Park 4, maybe. I don't know what it's going to be called, but it's obviously the 4th installment. So Jurassic Park 4 with a little tiny date underneath that's 2015. And the logo is the Jurassic Park logo, but instead of black and red, how it usually is, and like with the yellow letters, it's all silver and blue. So I don't know where that's going to go. I'm pretty excited for that. I wasn't a fan of Jurassic Park 3. Because I was looking for this little known thing that not everyone talks about called story. There was none. So we're going to see how the 4th one goes. Apparently, hand-picked Steven Spielberg people are working on this, which makes me excited. Okay, also, some great nerd news that I'm excited to report. Robert Downey Jr. will, in fact, be back for Avengers 2 and 3. Now, he signed another contract with Marvel, but he is not going to be making Iron Man 4. From what I hear, it looks as if singular Iron Man movies are done, which I think is fine. We'd had 3 great installments in this series, and Iron Man 3 is actually is the 5th highest grossing film of all time. So, and for a sequel, I mean, come on, that's like really good. So, yeah, Robert Downey Jr., Avengers 2, Avengers 3, no Iron Man. He's gonna be Iron Man and Tony Stark, but no standalone movie. I think it'll be cool. I'm excited. It'll be interesting to see where that thing goes. So, that's that. Nerd news. Alright guys, we got some Age of Ultron here for your comic book review. Age of Ultron number 10. This was in that very sneaky, secretive black bag last time when I showed you on Nerd Hall, but here it is in all its glory. Nothing too interesting about the cover. I don't think they were trying to cover up what was on the cover. I think they were trying to cover up what was inside, because like I've shown you guys, it is the first appearance of Angela from the Spawn universe as created by Todd McFarlane. McFarlane, but she is in fact Neil Gaiman's character, and he brought her to Marvel. And so this is pretty cool. The entire Age of Ultron series is actually really interesting. It's kind of really toned down. You know, like when I read Siege and like Civil War and Secret Invasion, there were big, huge moments and it ended with huge things. This really didn't do that. Like, it eliminated Ultron as a villain forever, which was good because they went back in time, told Hank Pym, listen, you're going to make Ultron. He's going to be evil. You need to put in like a secret virus that we can access later so to like kill him forever. And Hank Pym was like, okay, I'll do that. Boom. So he comes back, you know, kind of a weak use of time travel. Like, one of the reasons I hate time travel, it's like a Deus Ex Machina, like, we have a problem, let's go back, fix the problem, come back, it's done, yay. But so that's pretty much what happened. But I think what happens is that the main reason that Marvel and Bendis and everyone did this is because they were traveling back and forth in time. It kind of like ripped a hole in the time-space continuum, which kind of opened the gateway for Universal Marvel crossovers, which is awesome. So like in you know, it shows that like pretty much time is broken and space is broken. And so here we have a little picture of the Ultimate Universe Spider-Man, Miles Morales, and you know, it's affecting the Ultimate Universe. Galactus comes to the Ultimate Universe, which is cool. And then here we have Angela, and this is her first appearance in here. It's kind of like a big spread, if you can see that. She looks great, looks really cool. And then in the back, it showed like kind of like a preview for what she's going to be in. And it seems like she's going to be a recurring character, villain or otherwise, in Guardians of the Galaxy, which they're really putting a lot of time and energy in because of the movie coming up. So, yeah, Age of Ultron number 10, it was a pretty good series. I liked where it went. If you're a Wolverine fan, you would like it. It's a really good insight into Logan and his world. Pretty cool. You know, not one of my favorite story arcs for like a big crossover event, but hey, why not? It opened the doors for a lot of cool stuff to come, and I'm excited to see what they do with Angela. So that's it. Yeah, Age of Ultron number 10. All right, everybody. This is the first, I guess, issue, if you will, first episode of the Nerdophiliac that involves Nerdology 101. And I thought that this would be a good way to kind of share some knowledge I have, anything that I've gone to get myself, any kind of knowledge I've learned in the past about things of Nerdology and nerd culture that I think is really great. And so right now we're going to be talking about a little thing, actually it's a very big thing, called Kaiju. Now, Kaiju comes from the Japanese word that it literally translated, it means strange beast. But in American culture and English-speaking countries, Kaiju has come to be a genre of movie that is giant monsters, destroying cities and fighting with each other. You know, monster films, giant monster films. So when we say a Kaiju film, for us, it means a giant Japanese monster film. Perfect example, and the most popular across the world, Godzilla. Everyone knows Godzilla, and he is the most famous kaiju. Giant dinosaur type monster destroying a city. Simple, easy, millions of Japanese people running everywhere. We all know this, you know, and they're really known for their really bad lip syncing and all that stuff, you know, dubbed Japanese movies. So, but a little fun fact about Godzilla, his Japanese name, Gojira, okay? And so it comes from the Japanese word gorira, which means gorilla, and kujira, which means whale. And together, it's Gojira, which means gorilla whale. And if you kind of take a look at Godzilla, because he comes from the ocean, his scales, if you will, kind of look like really hard fur. He doesn't have a gorilla face, but I mean, it's kind of reptilian, makes sense. A whale and a gorilla kind of goes together. So it's kind of cool. You know, so for us, the anglicized version of Gojira is Godzilla. And so that's kind of cool. I mean, he's the most popular, but there are huge amounts of kaiju in Japanese culture. We have Gamera, King Ghidorah, we have Rodan. All those are the really popular ones, but there's a whole bunch that I don't even know of because I don't live in Japan. But one thing that's kind of interesting is the Ultraman series. Now, Ultraman is a series that started in the 60s and is huge in Japan. It is like the Japanese Doctor Who, how it's become such a cultural icon. Like, Ultraman is a long, ongoing kaiju series. Every episode, Ultraman fights some kind of giant monster and he's victorious. So it's kind of cool. But I want to tell you guys something, is that here in America, we're not unfamiliar with kaiju. Kaiju is actually something that has transcended and has come across to America. Think about Power Rangers. I need you to think about Power Rangers for a second and think about every single episode of Power Rangers you've ever seen, including movies. At the end of every single Power Ranger episode, the monster that they've been fighting, either sent by Rita Repulsa or Lord Zed or a slew of other villains, that they've been fighting in their Power Ranger form. When they go into the Megazord, the giant monster grows, boom, you're watching a kaiju TV show. And so we're very familiar with kaiju. If you're a fan of Power Rangers, you're a fan of kaiju. Just, that's the way it is, end of story. But there are really popular kaiju American franchises, two of which I hate, but Cloverfield, I hated that movie, but that is kaiju. It works, giant monster destroying a city. The 1998 version of Godzilla with Matthew Broderick, which I hate. That's the two. It was, when I was like 8, that was an awesome movie. It was great. I loved the toy. I had the toys, everything. It was cool. But when I watch it now, when I realize, I want something more out of these kind of movies, it's just not there. And it's hated the world around. So, we have Pacific Rim, which is coming out in like less than a week and a half, I think. And that is a perfect example of kaiju movies. In fact, the monsters in Pacific Rim are called kaiju. That's what they're called. And another perfect classic example of American kaiju, King Kong. Guys, we had the movies from the 1930s, remakes, and the Peter Jackson one. That's a kaiju movie. He's fighting giant dinosaurs, kaiju. Boom, there you go. So that's it, guys. Kaiju, look it up. Take some time out of your day, look up some toys, spend a lot of money getting them. Just one word of warning. You may be like sitting at home like, wow, I want to watch a Godzilla movie. I think I'm going to get into kaiju. Then you put one on and you realize that the entire movie can't be just monsters destroying a city for an hour and a half. Unfortunately, they got to put in some little human aspect of it. So bear with it and bear with the bad dubbing, and just take it as what it is. You have to put a story in so that everything can go wrong and Godzilla comes and saves the day at the end, or destroys everything, one or the other. So yeah, just take some time. Look on Netflix. Hulu has a lot. I've been really checking out Crackle, which has a crap ton of Godzilla movies. So take a look. And yeah, Nerdology 101. Thanks. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in to Nerdophiliac episode 6. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned a little bit about some stuff. Age of Ultron number 10 and some kaiju. All right, guys, thanks. Stay nerdy.